If you like big fields, big equipment, have a love of course play and auto drive, then this map might just be the perfect one for you. G'day mates, Argsy Gaming here, and we're taking a look at a map today. This is a newly released version of a map that's been around for a wee while. It's the Western Australia map, but this is a 16 times version. Previously there was a 4 times version of the same map, which was released by Deacon Kane for FarmSim 17 and then refreshed and updated for FarmSim 19. But today we're looking at the 16 times version, which has been completed by Deacon Kane, Aliba, Das Alex and Camille 1997 Rock 1. It was released on Facebook a week or two ago as a beta version, and it really is, I'd describe it as a little bit of an experimental map. It's certainly by no ways complete and not fully functional, and I'll explain that a little bit more soon. But if you're just wanting to enjoy playing with some big equipment, like I said in the intro, on some big fields, and want to run a little bit of management, or feel like you're playing on a large farm, then there is some real potential to this map. Anyhow, I've got myself a trusty Toyota Land Cruiser right here, and let's jump in and go have a look around. So just before we jump in and have a look around the map in the Land Cruiser, I thought I would just shoot over here and show you the main house. So very typical Australian house, big verandas around the outside to keep the sun off. We've got a sleep trigger here at the front door, but other than that, just all decoration. Bit of sunbathing going on over there, got a barbecue, cook a few prawns, have a beer, maybe a snag. So yeah, all very simple. You probably might recognise that having featured in some of Daggerwin's survival roleplay when he made his trip over to Australia. So we'll go have a look, but before I do, I'm going to bring up the map and just sort of show you the basics. So just taking a look at the map here, we're obviously up here, this is the main farm. This boundary here that you can sort of make out a little bit, it's about the limits of the original 4 times. So everything beyond that is how the map's been extended. It only has the one farm built. So you can see that if I zoom in here. So there's where we are. You can see the fuel point there. And then down the bottom here is the main sell points. So there's 4 or 5 sell points. There's a fertilizer fill point down there as well. But we'll go down and have a look at that shortly. In terms of farmland you start with, so I've started this on New Farmer. And if you go into the buy screen, you'll find we actually own everything. $301 million worth of land. I think there's about 16,500 acres in total. But there's no separate field definition. So that was what I was talking about in the intro, where it's, to me, experimental and a little unfinished, in that the fields are all one, there's no contracts on any of the fields, because obviously you own them all, and it's not seasons ready, it hasn't been set up for seasons. So it certainly would be more, as I said earlier, a map for playing with big equipment and just having a bit of fun, trying to test the limitations of course play without having running out of space in fields. So that gives you an overview of the map. There's some roads which again don't show up. There's a main road which runs down here. There's tracks that run all the way through. There's a train on there, but it's only decoration. The dots through here you'll see some power pylons which feature in the fields. And yeah, but let's go back and hop in the Land Cruiser and we'll go for a drive around the farm, see what's there. Just driving in from the back really of the yard. This isn't the main entrance obviously, this comes from the farmhouse. There's a bit of a campground there for seasonal workers, caravans and whatnot. There's a number of these big sheds. I think there's about 3 of these large open sheds scattered around the yard. Just obviously excellent storage for all the big equipment you'll be needing to run the farm. But if we just come in here, that's the main entry coming down that side. And then we've got an assortment of sheds around here. A smaller open face shed, a workshop. I don't believe, I haven't been able to locate a workshop trigger. So whether there is one or not, I might have to do a little bit more exploring. So that's there, and then over here is another large open shed drive through, so you can pull your big air seeders and air carts through there and keep them in the shelter. I would say out of the rain, but it doesn't rain a whole heap in Western Australia, hence the dry arid conditions it looks like. So for me it's a really good representation, as the original 4Times is, of the Australian outback and the large scale farming that's in Australia. As I was saying, there's 2 more of those large open sheds there. And then if we come back around this side, we'll just hang a left in here and head down to where the grain silo complex is. So a big drive around loop, come down the side here, and we've got the unload point, and carry on around this loop on the road and you'll find the fill trigger back around this side. Plenty of storage for the grain that you're going to be harvesting off these fields. There's over, well, what is there, 1.5 million litres of storage for each crop type. So certainly not going to run out of space for anything anytime soon. Back around here is another sort of, I guess, workshop type thing, the gantry crane there. It's a nice decoration. Obviously a lot of the credit for that would probably go to the original map maker. Certainly the main part is the modded map. And drains there for what I guess would be a washdown point. A bit of decoration for that. That's sort of an overview of the main farm. Pretty much the same as the original 4Times map. Not too much to look at there. Obviously the main feature being the 16Times is just the field sizes. So we'll go for a drive along the road here. I do like these cliffs and the way the colour in the soil and that, and how the tracks cut out of those. We'll hang a right out of here and head down towards the sell points. And we might just throw this on a time lapse just so you can get a sense of the scale of this map. And how long it takes us to run around. You can see the silos just appearing over there in the distance. But we'll run around here and talk to you soon. Alright, so we're just coming up here on the main entry into the sell point. You'll see there, Cargill, Western Australia. Obviously one of the merchants or co-op type businesses that runs over in that part of the world. So I've just hung a right as we've come in. There's 2 sell points over here. Obviously some really large grain piles and augers, decorative augers. But we've got these 2 points. This one here, which we can drive over. Obviously if you had a truck and a trailer, you'd be able to offload into that. And if I just zoom in here on the map, that's Grain Trading Australia, and then over here is Grain Trading Australia 2. So they take all your crops, all your grains, your cereals, soybeans, sunflowers, corn, etc. So depending on which one has the best price of these two, might alter where you sell your product. The heaps are just decoration. They don't provide any storage or any, they don't change as you unload. They are just as they are as a static pile. Likewise with the augers. Yeah, there's the second sell point there. Alright, so just in the middle here, we've got a cotton bales in there. That's the sell point for the cotton bales. And then on the other side there, I believe, is the sell point for the hay and any grain or straw. So you'll see I picked that one there, Glenvar Hay Trade for cotton and Glenvar Hay Trade for bales. That's the 2 sell points if you do any of that work. Little building over here on the left is our shop. We pop over here and have a look. We'll just pop in and lease a 7R just so we can show you where things spawn. We'll just turn around and have a look, and there's where the tractors spawn, so ready to go and do some work. I'd certainly recommend the store deliveries mod. Make the getting slower equipment back to the yard a little bit easier, but if you want to play really realistically, have low loaders and that delivering, that's certainly an option as well. We'll just head down around here, around this huge silo complex. have a look at the other couple of points. I was saying the trains there are only static, they can't be used for anything, so purely decoration. Would be great to be able to sell into them though and transport it off somewhere else. We're just here at the Kakadu, Western Australia, which is the sell point, so drive in through here and offload. Nice, lots of height there for your larger tippers. You've got a road train or something like that set up. And then if we just head around here, another weighbridge as well. So very simple. A lot of the features all in the same spot, which will make it easy for setting up auto drive courses. They will just have to come between here and the farm, and then you can direct things back towards the farm. So we'll just go for a quick little drive and have a look around the map. There's not a huge amount to see in terms of special features or unique features. It is just a really large expanse of arable land with some similar terrain to what we've already been across, which is really reminiscent of what Australia's like when you get into the large arable farming areas. We're just down here at the very bottom of the map on the road. I'll just show you where we are on the map. We've come straight down here and it's there at the end. So you can see where we've driven from the farmyard up here between fields 6 and 7, down here between 13 and 14. I'll just hop out and we'll go upwards. And just start to see how large these fields are. If you haven't already got a good grasp of that, you certainly do from up here looking back across them. So not something you'd want to be doing with a small cultivator or a small seeder or a small combine, because you will be there for a very long time. For example, field 6 here, I put a single combine in with a 45-foot header, and Courseplay told me it was going to take 12.5 hours to harvest that field. It doesn't count turning time or unload time or anything like that. That's purely the time the combine will be running in the crop. So, and field 6 is certainly by no means the largest. Probably field 21, 19 down here, 2-3 times bigger than field 6. So 35, possibly 40 hours to harvest that with a single combine. If you are into the big equipment, have a good grasp of Courseplay. That could be a good time. I'm just going to run back up here and head back up towards the farm, and when we get back there we'll have a little surprise waiting. What we might do next. Just before we head back there, I just thought I'd check a couple of things. I did notice that there was a fertilizer buy point on the map, and if we just drive in here under the auger, there's obviously you can buy fertilizer, so you could run down here with your trucks or whatever you want to fill up. Obviously you'd want to be using something with quite a big capacity that you didn't have to run back and forth too many times. That's good to have a buy point there on the map. And I'm just going to go back and check, grab maybe a sprayer of some description and see if this is a fill point for liquid fertilizer or herbicide. I'm just parked here in front of these what look like liquid storage silos, and I can't seem to get a trigger to work for those, so I'm going to assume that they're purely there for decoration. Don't have a liquid fertilizer or herbicide provision, which would tie in well with the map, as it doesn't show anything of that nature. But obviously there's plenty of placeables out there that you can buy for those kind of things. Put down on your farm, have a tank for herbicide. You can put some Great Meridian bins out there with seed and fertilizer and lime. In fact, I've used some on Red Dirt County on my live stream, so go have a look at that if you want to see where those are. But as I said, we'll just carry on, head back up to the farm. Back here at the yard, the sun's getting a bit higher, it's starting to get a bit hot. But I hope you've enjoyed that tour of the West Australia 16 times map. I will put a link to the Facebook page where the map was released in the description below. go download it, have a play, let me know what you think. But while I've been driving around and having a play, I've decided that I might give it a go and take on the challenge with the big equipment and do somewhat of a mega harvest. Setting up course play, running multiple combines, automated grain carts, some auto drive routes for trucks to the grain bins and down to the sell points, and just see how I can go with setting up more of an automated farm. Not something I've done a lot of, so it might only be a short series, a few episodes, but we'll see how we go. Got some great big equipment in mind, so keep an eye out for that coming soon. But that is all from me. I will catch you in the next one.